Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Doug with News and Views by Doug. And President Obama had his dedication of his monstrosity presidential library in Chicago. It just looks like shit. And he apparently is very proud of it. But they had a dedication yesterday where they had several former presidents and the first lady show up. They had celebrities, entertainers, and they had a huge party, including Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder, Bono, Tom Hanks, Oprah, you know. But I also found it kind of funny that Beyonce announced that she was not going to do any of the 250-year celebrations, that none of her Western music would make it to help celebrate America. And it's all because she's anti-Trump. Well, don't you have to be kind of invited before you can say you're not going to participate? She wasn't invited, but yet she's putting herself in there. Now I'm going to show you some videos where the people around the Presidential Library of Chicago, they're upset. They're getting kicked out of their neighborhood. And when I say by kicked out, the rent's going up, the taxes are going up, they're getting screwed. And they don't appreciate what President Obama has done. And then come to find out, the grand opening's today on Juneteenth, where they had the dedication yesterday, and it came out that many of the contractors and subcontractors for this presidential library are going bankrupt because they were never paid for their work. And the one thing I thought was kind of weird was that initially they were talking about all these black subcontractors, how they're going bankrupt, and how could Obama do that to, quote unquote, his own people. Well, I did some research because it brought to mind, it's like, well, why are only the black subcontractors going bankrupt? Were there no white or Hispanic or Asian subcontractors? And I was thinking, that's pretty racist if he only hired, or his whoever was responsible for the building only hired black subcontractors. So I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that there were other people that were subcontractors. And DEI was in force. They wanted to make sure that at least 40% of all the people working on the presidential library were going to be black. There was white companies and there was Hispanic companies, but I find it strange that none of those people have come out saying that they're going bankrupt because they weren't paid. Only the black subcontractors. So that's weird to me. And I'll show you some video about that.
Years of waiting and millions of dollars spent. The Obama Presidential Center is set to open this week, and it might leave taxpayers on the hook. Despite the center claiming it's fully privately funded, the project's $470 million savings endowment sits at only $1 million, as construction costs reportedly ballooned from $330 million to at least $850 million. It comes as some subcontractors are claiming they haven't been paid yet for the work on the project.
So many of our black contractors are complaining about they have not got their money. But the other side of it, a lot of the black community and the newspapers do not know that these people have not been paid. Contractors are already in bankruptcy. That's what they're saying, that if it wasn't the fact that they worked on this Obama project, they would not be under this type of problem.
You can file that with You Can Keep Your Doctor. The Obama Presidential Center officially opens to the public in Chicago this Friday. Those are your headlines. And I know, Rachel, you are going to be first in line to get in there and check out a book from the Obama Library.
You mean from the
Obama trash can.
From the North Korean watchtower?
Yeah.
What is that? Obama, we're calling on you and Michelle. You and Michelle, come and apologize to Chicago for doing this.
Southside Chicago residents rallied at the Obama Presidential Center site, demanding a public apology from Barack Obama over rising rents, evictions, and broken promises to their community.
Steal our property, Obama, before you come and cut that ribbon on this ugly building. Come and apologize to Southside Chicago, to Chicago, period. Period. People stood behind you, thinking that you was going to be about something, and you wasn't about nothing. You owe us an apology.
Have you ever seen Forrest Gump? Remember in Forrest Gump when Jenny went back to the house where she was being hurt and she threw bricks and stones at it? That's what I want to do to the Obama Center.
1 week before the Obama Center opens to the public, Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor and residents of her ward voicing frustration.
While folks are romanticizing it and are excited about it, myself and our coalition, we're not. How could I be excited about something that has displaced families in the ward?
Fearing skyrocketing rent and property tax increases, residents in Woodlawn and South Shore pushed for a community benefits agreement, but the Obama Foundation rejected a formal arrangement.
I want to make something very clear. Just because he's the first black president doesn't mean he gets to scapegoat and not do what's right by our community.
Local residents say even before the official opening, they've noticed an increase in rent. They're also worried about a boom for licenses for short-term rentals near the Obama Center.
I have the highest amount of Airbnbs in my community because people bought property here and now people are not renting. And so the alternative so that they can keep these properties was turning them into an Airbnb.
Taylor concedes it's too late to win a CBA for the Obama Center, but she wants City Council to pass a citywide CBA for all major projects.
Before the city sells any property to any major developments, they would have a conversation and agreement with the community.
Obama officials have long cited major projected economic impact from the center.
What do you think it looks like? Like a jail. Yeah. A little offensive to have the first black president to have a jail. Yeah. Okay, come on. Come on. Could they have tried?
Now,
Those of you who don't see an issue with what Barack Obama has done to the Woodlawn and surrounding communities with his presidential center, I want you to take a moment to imagine this. Imagine if Donald Trump put a tower right in that same location. Imagine if Donald Trump ignored the complaints of all of the citizens who lived around that center who said they were fearful of losing their property. Imagine if those same citizens started losing their properties because of extreme property tax increases to the tune of 700%. Imagine if you saw seniors being displaced from that very area and Trump literally still said, it's fine, I'm opening up my center. And he said it was a success. Would you agree that it was a success? Or would you say he committed a atrocity against that community? If you cannot see the issue unless I put Trump in it, you are the problem. What Barack Obama has done to that area, the way that he denied them and ignored their complaints, is wrong. Those people they used every system and process to try to push back and fight back. And he denied them. The foundation denied them. And then the city even placated and basically kind of lied to the residents and said that they would work to avoid property tax increases, and nothing of that nature had occurred. The city actually increased property taxes all across the south and west side in conjunction with the already high increases that happened as a result of the center. So again, I ask you to imagine, how would you feel if that center was by Donald Trump? And he put a tower, he took in a park in Jackson Park, took a park, got rid of the park to put his tower there. How would you feel?
Now, something else that took place yesterday during the Obama dedication of the presidential library, 3 of the presidents, former presidents, showed up, or technically 4 if you include Obama. And that was Clinton, Bush, the second one, and good old Joe Biden. And apparently Joe Biden had one of his moments. Now, it's funny, I'm not going to include the video, but apparently when Michelle Obama was talking to the public, she was making this big speech about immigrants, that immigrants are the heart of this country, that immigrants are just the greatest and DACA and all that crap. Yeah, and it was just on Monday when one of those DACA members was arrested for funding terrorist groups. And also we had the illegal immigrant involved in the supposed attack on the White House for Sunday. And then when I was working as a photojournalist, I covered several members of the DACA group. And DACA is the deferred program where illegals that came across the border as little kids, that they're being allowed to stay, but there's certain things they have to do in order to stay. And I covered several of them that got arrested by the U.S. Border Patrol because they were sneaking illegals across the border to make extra money. So, yeah, DACA is great. But one of the fun things, Bill Clinton fell asleep during her speech, but President Joe Biden, you know, he's old and he's out there, and we don't even know if he was acting as president when he was the president. You know, we have that whole auto pen thing where people are just signing his name left and right, and we don't even know if he knows what was going on. But, you know, he went out on stage with Jill Biden, and when they were leaving, there's clips of videos where President Obama was talking to him and kind of pointing him in the direction that he needed to go. And Joe somehow ended up back on stage after most had left, and he yelled out, "Where's my granddaughter?" So Jill Biden had to come get him and escort him back off stage. So good old Joe.
And library and your own DEI construction as you hose people. All the contractors say they haven't been paid. Joe Biden gets directed off stage by Obama and gets lost and wanders away.
Former U.S. President Joe Biden's appearance also drew intense attention as viewers closely tracked his movements throughout the ceremony. A widely shared clip showed Biden lingering on stage and appearing to search the crowd before speaking briefly into a microphone.
Look at my granddaughter.
Now, yesterday, one thing that happened that, you know, it should have happened back in the 60s, but things happen and it just basically got lost in the paperwork. But a Marine major retired. When he was a second lieutenant in Vietnam, he was part of a recon force group, which is the Marine Corps Special Ops. And he's, you know, he was a second lieutenant leading a group into combat, and just an amazing Marine. In the mission, he was shot 19 times, but refused to be medevaced until every one of his Marines, dead and alive, were evacuated from the scene. And instead of just laying there wounded, he kept attacking the enemy and directing the attack of his other Marines against the enemy. His commanding officer was going to recommend him for the Medal of Honor, but his commanding officer died before the paperwork could be signed, and then it just went away. So after all these years, here it is yesterday, Major James Capers, Jr. was awarded the Medal of Honor, our highest declaration for the military, for his bravery, his actions, and what he did in that combat scene. And it was President Trump that gave him that medal. And you're going to see in the video, Major Capers had to be escorted up and helped up onto the stage. And you see where President Trump takes a hold of him to steady him, to help him. And then he puts the Medal of Honor on the major and very delicately aligns the medal so that it looks proper. And then there was an interview with Major Capers by one, I think it was Fox. And he just gives a talk, and we're going to show you that video. Truly an amazing man. And was he wronged all back then? Yes and no. The man not only has now the Medal of Honor, but he has a Silver Star and 3 Bronze Stars along with all of his other medals. Those medals are for bravery. Bravery in combat. Just, he has an amazing story. As you can see over my shoulder here, I'm a former Marine. And hoorah, sir. Semper Fi.
The President of the United States, in the name of the Congress, takes pleasure in presenting the Medal of Honor to Second Lieutenant James Capers, Jr., United States Marine Corps.
Six decades after heroically leading his Marines through an ambush in Vietnam, President Trump awards Major James Capers, Jr. the Medal of Honor.
For his incredible valor, Jim was recommended for the Medal of Honor in 1967, and everybody knew he should get it. But life is life. His commanding officer, who was his biggest fan, was tragically killed before the paperwork was signed. Jim, the nation kept you waiting far too long. So I say to you, congratulations. You made it. Thank you.
Major Capers is recognized as the father of Marine Corps Special Operations. He was the first African-American to lead a Marine recon company and receive a battlefield commission. And today, Major James Capers will be inducted into Pentagon's Hall of Heroes, and he joins us now. Major Capers, thank you so much for all your sacrifice and for coming on this morning.
It's an honor to be here.
Well,
Thank
it's
you.
an honor to talk to you. What went through your mind yesterday when the president put this Medal of Honor, placed it around your neck?
I got to tell you, it was a difficult time for me because I felt a little guilty because I didn't really felt like I deserved it. But all of the men and women that served, that I get to do something like this, it's a wonderful day, and I'm honored.
Well, you were so stoic in these images, and I was watching this and thinking, I wonder if he's thinking about his friends, the men that didn't come home.
Yeah, you always think about that. You never turn that loose. Lost a lot of good men in battlefields, and I fought 2 wars and suffered 19 bullet holes, and along the way, out of the battle zones.
Well, folks, That's my opinion and observation for today. I hope if you're celebrating Juneteenth, please enjoy yourselves. The weekend's up here. Please be safe. Keep your eyes open. If you see something, say something. Take care of each other, your family, your friends. And I just wish you safety. God bless you and God bless America. You take care.